Hello everyone and welcome to the program. I'm Shinwa Kimbalwe in Lagos. Let's kick off on a major story that has sparked reactions from different quarters, probably because of the weight of allegations and the person making that allegation. A former Chief of Army Staff, General Theophilus Danjuma, said Nigerians are being killed at an alarming rate, but the armed forces could not curb the bloodshed because they're also involved in it.
The peace in this state is under assault. There's an attempt at ethnic cleansing in this state and, of course, in all the riverine state of Nigeria. We must resist it. We must stop it. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them.
Well, the Nigerian army has dismissed these allegations, saying such statements are inflammatory and should be disregarded. The Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, is also speaking about security situation in the northeast region of the country, clearing the air about some issues, especially as it concerns the release of Dapchi schoolgirls who were taken and released some days ago. He also cleared the air about the claims that a military officer who had gone rogue is claiming that there is an orchestration about the Dapchi schoolgirls.
There is no such soldier in the Nigerian army. There was no conspiracy anywhere. The intention of those behind the disinformation and fake news is to cause disaffection between Christians and Muslims and between Southerners and Northerners. This administration's success in seeking an early release of the Dapchi girls has ruffled many feathers. It has upturned a lot of plans by naysayers. They have not been able to sleep since the girls came back. Their campaign to unseat President Muhammadu Buhari is fueling their desperation. Nigerians should prepare to see more avalanche of disinformation and fake news.
So then let's leave the issues of security of Nigeria on one hand and let's talk about elections and how perhaps elections may be manipulated in this country. Well, let me ask you, how much of your personal information is on Facebook to start with? And how much of it is used by the platform for commercial or other purposes? Those you may not have ready-made answers, but hold that thought. The crucial question we will attempt to provide answers to tonight on the program is how much influence do social media and the data harvested from those platforms have on the Nigerian election and the democratic process? So, Cambridge Analytica, a UK-based company, is facing allegations of obtaining data on Facebook users and of Facebook users for election strategy. They, according to one of the former employees who blew the whistle on them, harvested millions of data to manipulate voters during elections. Listen to him.
I think that, yes, it was a grossly unethical experiment because you are playing with an entire country, the psychology of an entire country without their consent or awareness. And not only are you playing with the psychology of an entire nation, you're playing with the psychology of an entire nation in the context of the democratic process.
You've harvested my data and then you've used that to target me in ways that I can't see and that I don't understand.
Yeah, so we would know what kinds of messaging you would be susceptible to, including the framing of it, the topics, the content, the tone. whether it's scary or not, that kind of thing. So what you would be susceptible to and where you're going to consume that. And then how many times do we need to touch you with that in order to change how you think about something? We spent $1 million harvesting tens of millions of Facebook profiles, and those profiles were used as the basis of the algorithms that became the foundation of Cambridge Analytica itself. The company itself was founded on using Facebook data.
So you heard an employee of Cambridge Analytica who blew the whistle. So since the story broke out, a lot of people have reacted differently to it. But this is how politicians and government agencies have reacted. Facebook's co-founder and chief executive officer, Mark Zuckerberg, has been summoned to appear before a House panel in the United States as fallout continues from revelations that data of millions of users was obtained by a political consulting firm linked to President Donald Trump in the United States. In the UK, Parliament and members of Parliament on the Digital Media and Sport Committee have accused Facebook of misleading it in a previous evidence session and called for Mark Zuckerberg to appear before them to answer questions. In Australia, the country's Information and Privacy Commission has demanded that Facebook provide information on whether any Australians were affected by the unauthorized use of profile and data. Let's go to Israel. Israeli authorities said they had informed Facebook that the country's privacy protection agency was investigating the social media giant for potentially violating the rights of Israelis. So it took Facebook some days to respond to these allegations, and when they did, the co-founder and the CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, provided an explanation and, in fact, apologized.